Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Joshua 18-23, Proverbs 7, and Psalm 105. Let's get started. And the whole congregation of the people of Israel assembled at Shiloh and set up the tent of meeting there. The land lay subdued before them. There remained among the people of Israel 7 tribes whose inheritance had not yet been apportioned. So Joshua said to the people of Israel, "How long will you put off going in to take possession of the land, which the Lord, the God of your fathers, has given you? Provide 3 men from each tribe, and I'll send them out what they may set out and go up and down the land. They shall write a description of it and with the view to their inheritances, and then come to me. They shall divide it into 7 portions. Judah shall continue in his territory on the south, and the house of Joseph shall continue in their territory in the north. And you shall describe the land in 7 divisions and bring the description here to me. And I'll cast lots for you here before the Lord our God. The Levites have no portion among you, for the priesthood of the Lord is their inheritance. And Gad and Reuben and half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond the Jordan eastward, which Moses the servant of the Lord gave them." So the men arose and went, and Joshua charged those who went to write the description of the land, saying, "Go up and down in the land and write a description and return to me, and I will cast lots for you here before the Lord in Shiloh." So the men went and passed up and down in the land and wrote in a book a description of it by towns in 7 divisions. And they came to Joshua to the camp at Shiloh. And Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord. And there Joshua apportioned the land to the people of Israel, to each his portion. A lot of the tribe of the people of Benjamin, according to his clans, came up. And the territory allotted to it fell between the people of Judah and the people of Joseph. On the north side, their boundary began at the Jordan, and the boundary goes up to the shoulder north of Jericho, then up through the hill country westward, and it ends at the wilderness of Beth Aven. From there, the boundary passes along southward in the direction of Luz, to the shoulder of Luz, and the boundary goes down to Ataroth Adar, on the mountain that lies south of Lower Beth Horon. And the boundary goes in another direction, turning on the western side southward from the mountain that goes to the south. Lies to the south, opposite Beth Horon, and it ends at Kiriath Baal, a city belonging to the people of Judah. It swarms at the western side, and the southern side begins at the outskirts of Kiriath Jearim, and the boundary goes from there to Ephron, to the spring of the waters of Naphtali. And the boundary goes down to the border of the mountain that overlooks the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is at the north end of the valley that overlooks the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is at the north end of the valley that overlooks the valley of the son of Hinnom, valley of Rephaim. Then it goes down the valley of Hinnom, south of the shoulder of the Jebusites. Then it goes down and downward to En Rogel, and then it bends in a northerly direction, going on to En Shemesh, and from there goes to Gililoth, which is opposite the ascent of Adumim, and then it goes down to the stone of Bohan, son of Reuben, and passing on to the north of the shoulder of Beth Araba, it goes down to the Araba. Then the boundary passes on to the north of the shoulder of Beth Hogla, and the boundary ends at the northern bay of the Salt Sea, at the south end of the Jordan. This is the southern border. The Jordan forms its boundary on the eastern side. This is the inheritance of the people of Benjamin, according to their clans, boundary by boundary all around. Now the cities of the tribe of the people of Benjamin, according to their clans, were Jericho, Beth Hogla, Emek-Keziz, Beth Araba, Zemaraim, Bethel, Athan, Para, Ophrah, Shephar, Ammoni, Ophni, Geba, 12 cities with their villages, Gibeon, Ramah, Beeroth, Mizpeh, Chephirah, Moser, Rechem, Erpil, Tarala, Zelah, Haleph, Jebus, Gibeah, and Kiriath Jearim, 14 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the people of Benjamin according to its clans. The second lot came out for Simeon, for the tribe of the people of Simeon, according to their clans, and their inheritance was in the midst of the inheritance of the people of Judah. And they had for their inheritance Bishba, Sheba, Moladah, Hazar Shul, Bala, Esem, Eltalad, Bethel, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Mechaboth, Hazar Susa, Beth Lebaoth, and Sharuman, 13 cities with their villages, Ain, Rimmah, Ether, and Asher, 4 seas with their villages, together with all the villages around these seas as far as Baaleth-beer, Ramah of the Negev. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Simeon, according to their clans. The inheritance of the people of Simeon formed part of the territory of the people of Judah. Because the portion of the people of Judah was too large for them, the people of Simeon obtained an inheritance in the midst of their inheritance. The third lot came out for the people of Zebulun, according to their clans, and the territory of their inheritance reached as far as Sarid. Then their boundary goes up westward and on to Mariel and touches Dabbasheth. Then the brook that is east of Jokneam. From Sarid it goes in the other direction eastward toward the sunrise to the boundary of Chesulloth Tabor. From there it goes to Dabarath and then up to Japhia. And from there it passes on the east toward the sunrise to Gath-Hefer, to En-Kazin, and going on to Rimmah, it bends toward Nia. Then on the north, the boundary turns to about Hanathon, and it ends at the valley of Iftael, and Katath, Nahalel, Shimron, Idala, and Bethlehem, 12 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the people of Zebulun, according to their clans, these cities with their villages. The fourth lot came out for Isaac, and for the people of Isaac, according to their clans. Their territory included Jezreel, Chesulloth, Shunem, Hapharael, Shear, Anaharath, Rabbith, Kishion, Ebed, Ramath, and Ganim, and Hadar, Bethpazes. The boundary also touches Tabor, Shahazuma, and Bethshemesh, and its boundary ends at the Jordan, 16 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Isaac, according to their clans, the cities with their villages. The fifth lot came out for the tribe of the people of Asher, according to their clans. The territory included Helkath, Hali, Beton, Akshaph, Alamelech, Amad, and Mishal. On the west it touches Carmel and Shehor, Libnath. Then turned eastward, it goes to Beth Dagon and touches Zebulun and the valley of Iftael northward to Bethemech and Neel. Then it continues in the north to Kabul, Hebron, Rehob, Hammon, Cana, as far as Sidon the Great. Then the boundary turns to Ram, reaching to the fortified city of Tyre. And the boundary turns to Hosah, and it ends at the sea. Mahalab, Aksib, Aphek, and Rehob, 22 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Asher, according to their clans, these cities with their villages. The sixth lot came out for the people of Naphtali, according to their clans, and their boundary ran from Heleph, from the oak in Zenanim, and Adami Nekeb, and Jabneel, as far as Lacham, and it ended at the Jordan. Then the boundary turns westward to Asnoth Tabor. It goes from there to Hakok, touching Zebulun at the south and Asher on the west, and Judah on the east at the Jordan. The fortified cities are Ziddim, Zer, Hamath, Rakath, Chinnereth, Adamah, Ramah, Hazel, Kadesh, Edrei, and Hazel, Yirun, Migdal El, Horem, Beth Anath, and Beth Shemesh, 19 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Naphtali, according to their clans, the cities with their villages. The seventh lot came out for the tribe of the people of Dan, according to their clans, and the territory of its inheritance included Zorah, Eshtaol, Shemesh, Shal, Labin, Aijalon, Ithla, Elon, Timnah, Ekron, Elzekah, Gibbethon, Bala, Jehud, Ben Barak, Gathrimmon, and Meir Jarkin, and Rakim with the territory over Joppa. And the territory of the people of Dan was lost to them. The people of Dan went up and fought against Leshem, and after capturing it and striking it with the sword, they took possession of it and settled in it, calling Leshem Dan after the name of Dan, their ancestor. And this is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Dan, according to their clans, these cities with their villages. And they had finished distributing the several territories of the land as inheritances. The people of Israel gave an inheritance among them to Joshua the son of Nun. By command of the Lord, they gave him the seed that he asked, Timnath Serah in the hill country of Ephraim. And he rebuilt the city and settled in it. And these are the inheritance that Elzah the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers' houses of the tribes of the people of Israel distributed by law and the Shiloh before the Lord, the entrance of the tent of meeting. So they finished dividing the land. Then the Lord said to Joshua, Say to the people of Israel, appoint the cities of refuge, of which I spoke to you through Moses, that the manslayer who strikes any person without intent or unknowingly may flee there. They shall be for you a refuge from the avenger of blood. You shall flee to one of these cities, and shall stand at the entrance of the gate of the city, and explain his case to the elders of that city. And they shall take him into the city and give him a place, and he shall remain with them. And if the avenger of blood pursues him, they shall not give up the manslayer manslay into their hand, because he struck his neighbor unknowingly, and did not hate him in the past. And he shall remain in that city until he is stood before the congregation for judgment, until the death of him who is high priest at that time. Then the manslayer may return to his own town, and his own home, to the town from which he fled. So they set apart Kadesh in Galilee in the hill country of Naphtali, and Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba in the hill country of Judah, and beyond the Jordan east of Jericho they appointed Bezek in the wilderness on the tableland, from the tribe of Reuben, and Ramoth in Gilead, from the tribe of Gad, and Golan in Bashan, from the tribe of Manasseh. These were the cities designated for all the people of Israel, and for the strangers sojourning among them, that anyone who killed a person with that intent could flee there, so that he might not die by the hand of the avenger of blood, till he stood before the congregation. And then the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites came to Eleazar the priest, and to Joshua the son of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers' houses of the tribes of the people of Israel. And they said to them at Shelah in the land of Canaan, The Lord commanded through Moses that we be given cities to dwell in, along with their pasture lands for our livestock. So by command of the Lord, the people of Israel gave to the Levites the following cities and pasture lands out of their inheritance. The lot came out for the clans of the Kohathites. So those Levites who were descendants of Aaron the priest received by lot from the tribe of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin 13 cities, and the rest of the Kohathites received by lot from the clans of the tribe of Ephraim, from the tribe of Dan and the half tribe of Manasseh 10 cities. The Gershonites received by lot from the clans of the tribe of Issachar, from the tribe of Asher, from the tribe of Naphtali, and from the half tribe of Manasseh in Bashan 13 cities. Merarites, according to their clans, received from the tribe of Reuben, the tribe of Gad, and the tribe of Zebulun 12 cities. These cities and their pasture lands the people of Israel gave by lot to the Levites, as the Lord had commanded through Moses. And of the tribe of the people of Judah and the tribe of the people of Simeon, they gave the following cities mentioned by name, which went to the descendants of Aaron, one of the clans of the Kohathites who belonged to the people of Levi. Since the lot fell to them first, they gave them Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah, along with the pasture lands around it. But the fields of the city and its villages had been given to Caleb the son of Jephunneh as his possession. And to the descendants of Aaron the priest they gave Hebron, a city for refuge for the manslayer, with its pasture lands, Libnah with its pasture lands, Jattir with its pasture lands, Eshtamoa with its pasture lands, Holon with its pasture lands, Debir with its pasture lands, Aim with its pasture lands, Jutta with its pasture lands, Deshemesh with its pasture lands. 9 cities out of these 2 tribes. Then out of the tribe of Benjamin, Gibeon with his pasture lands, Geba with his pasture lands, Anathoth with his pasture lands, and Almon with his pasture lands. 4 cities. The cities of the descendants of Aaron, the priests, in all 13 cities with their pasture lands. As to the rest of the Kohathites belonged to the Kohathites clans of the Levites. The cities allotted to them were out of the tribe of Ephraim. To them were given Shechem, the city of refuge for the manslayer, with its pasture lands in the hill country of Ephraim, Gaza with his pasture lands, Kibzaim with his pasture lands, Beth-horon with his pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Dan, El-Takeh with his pasture lands, Gibbethon with his pasture lands, Aijalon with his pasture lands, Gath-Rimmon with his pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Manasseh, Taanach with his pasture lands, and Gath-Rimmon with his pasture lands, 2 cities. The cities of the clans were of the rest of the Kohathites were 10 in all with their pasture lands. And to the Gershonites, one of the clans of the Levites, were given out of the half tribe of Manasseh, Golan and Bashan with his pasture lands, the city of refuge for the manslayer, and Beeshterah with his pasture lands, 2 cities. And now the tribe of Israel, of Isaacar, Kishion, and with his pasture lands, Dabarath with his pasture lands, Jarmuth with his pasture lands, En-Ganim with his pasture lands, 4 cities. And now the tribe of Asher, Mishal with his pasture lands, Abdon with his pasture lands, Helkath with his pasture lands, and Rehob with his pasture lands, 4 cities. And now the tribe of Naphtali, Kadesh and Galilee, with its pasture lands, the city of refuge for the manslayer, Hamath-dor with its pasture lands, and Kartan with its pasture lands, 3 cities. The cities of the several clans of the Gershonites were in all 13 cities with their pasture lands. And to the rest of the Levites, the Merarite clans, were given out of the tribe of Zebulun, Jokneam with his pasture lands, and Kartar with his pasture lands, Kedemoth with his pasture lands, and Methath with his pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Gad, Ramoth in Gilead with his pasture lands, the city of refuge for the manslayer, Mahanaim with his pasture lands, Heshbon with his pasture lands, Jazer with his pasture lands, 4 cities in all. As for the cities of the several Merarite clans, that is the remainder of The clans of the Levites, those allotted to them, were in all 12 cities. And the cities of the Levites, in the midst of the possession of the people of Israel, were in all 48 cities with their pasture lands. These cities each had its pasture lands around. So it was with all these cities. Thus the Lord gave to Israel all the land that he swore to give to their fathers, and they took possession of it, and it settled there. And the Lord gave them rest on every side, just as he had sworn to their fathers. Not one of all their enemies had withstood them. For the Lord had given all their enemies into their hands. Not one word of all the good promises that the Lord had made to the house of Israel had failed. All came to pass. And at that time Joshua summoned the Reubenites and the Gadites and the whole tribe of Manasseh, and said to them, You have kept all that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you, and have obeyed my voice in all that I commanded you. You have not forsaken your brothers these many days, down to this day, but have been careful to keep the charge of the Lord your God. And now the Lord your God has given rest to your brothers, as he promised them. Therefore turn and go to your tents in the land where your possession lies, which Moses the servant of the Lord gave you on the other side of the Jordan. Then be very careful to observe the commandment of the law that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you, to love the Lord your God, and to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and to cling to him, and to serve him with all your heart, and with all your soul. So Joshua blessed them, and sent them away, and they went to their tents. Now to the one half of the tribe of Manasseh Moses had given a possession in Bashan, but to the other half Joshua had given a possession beside their brothers in the land west of the Jordan. And when Joshua sent them away to their homes and blessed them, he said to them, Go back to your tents with much wealth, and with very much livestock, with silver, gold, and bronze, and iron, and with much clothing. Divide the spoil of your enemies and with your brothers. So the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh returned home, parting from the people of Israel at Sheol, which is in the land of Canaan, to go to the land of Gilead, their own land of which they had possessed themselves by command of the Lord through Moses. And when they came to the region of the Jordan that is in the land of Canaan, the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh built there an altar by the Jordan, an altar of imposing size. And the people of Israel heard it said, Behold, the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh have built an altar at the frontier of the land of Canaan, in the region about the Jordan, from the side that belongs to the people of Israel. And when the people of Israel heard of it, the whole assembly of the people of Israel gathered at Shiloh to make war against them. Then the people of Israel sent to the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh in the land of Gilead, Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest, and with him 10 chiefs, one from each of the tribal families of Israel, every one of them the head of a family among the clans of Israel. And they came to the people of Reuben, the people of Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh, in the land of Gilead, and they said to them, Thus says the whole congregation of the Lord, What is this breach of faith that you have committed against the God of Israel in turning away this day from following the Lord by building yourselves an altar this day in rebellion against the Lord? Have we not had enough for the sin and pure, which even yet we have not cleansed ourselves, and for which there came a plague upon the congregation of the Lord? How you too must turn away this day from following the Lord. And if you too rebel against the Lord today, then tomorrow he will be angry with the whole congregation of Israel. But now, if the land of your possession is unclean, pass over the Lord's land where the Lord's tabernacle stands, and take for yourselves a possession among us. Only do not rebel against the Lord, or make us as rebels, by building for yourselves an altar other than the altar of the Lord our God. Did not Achan the son of Zerah break faith in the matter of the devoted things? And wrath fell upon all the congregation of Israel, and he did not perish alone for his iniquity. And the people of Reuben, the people of Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh said in answer to the heads of the families of Israel, The mighty one, God the Lord, the mighty one, God the Lord, he knows, and let Israel itself know, if it was in rebellion or in breach of faith against the Lord, if we did so to offer burnt offerings or grain offerings or peace offerings on it, may the Lord himself take vengeance. No, but we did it from fear that in time to come your children might say to our children, What have you to do with the Lord, the God of Israel? For the Lord has made the Jordan a boundary between us and you people of Reuben and people of Gad. You have no portion in the Lord. So your children might make our children cease to worship the Lord. Therefore we said, Let us now build an altar, not for burnt offering, nor for sacrifice, but to be a witness between us and you, and between our generations after us, that we do perform the service of the Lord in his presence with our burnt offerings and sacrifices and peace offerings. So your children will not say to our children in time to come, You have no portion in the Lord. And we thought, if this should be said to us or to our descendants in time to come, then we should say, Behold, the copy of the altar of the Lord, which our fathers made, not for burnt offering, nor for sacrifice, but to be a witness between us and you. Far be it from us that we should rebel against the Lord and turn away this day from following the Lord by building an altar for burnt offering, grain offering, or sacrifice, other than the altar of the Lord our God that stands before his tabernacle. When Phinehas the priest and the chiefs of the congregation, the heads of the families of Israel who were with him, heard the word that the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the people of Manasseh spoke, it was good in their eyes. And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest, said to the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the people of Manasseh, Today we know that the Lord is in our midst, because you have not committed this breach of faith against the Lord. Now you have delivered the people of Israel from the hand of the Lord. Then Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest, and the chiefs returned from the people of Reuben and the people of Gad, in the land of Gilead to the land of Canaan, to the people of Israel, and brought back word to them. And the report was good in the eyes of the people of Israel. And the people of Israel blessed God, and spoke no more of making war against them, to destroy the land where the people of Reuben and the people of Gad were settled. The people of Reuben and the people of Gad called the altar witness. For, they said, it is a witness between us that the Lord is God. A long time afterward, when the Lord had given rest to Israel from all their surrounding enemies, and Joshua was old and well advanced in years, Joshua summoned all Israel, its elders and its heads, and its judges and its officers, and said to them, I am now old and well advanced in years, and you have seen all that the Lord your God has done to all these nations for your sake. For it is the Lord your God who has fought for you. Behold, I have allotted to you as an inheritance for your tribes those nations that remain, along with all the nations that I have already cut off, from the Jordan to the great sea in the west. And then the Lord your God will push them back before you and drive them out of your sight, and you shall possess their land. And just as the Lord your God promised you, therefore be very strong to keep and do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, turning aside from it neither to the right hand nor to the left, that you may not mix with the nations remaining among you, or make mention of the names of their gods, or swear by them, or serve them, or bow down to them. But you shall cling to the Lord your God, just as you have done to this day. For the Lord has driven out before you great and strong nations, and as for you, no man has been able to stand before you to this day. One man of you puts to flight 1,000, since it is the Lord your God who fights for you. Just as he promised to you. Be very careful, therefore, to love the Lord your God. For if you turn back and cling to the remnant of these nations remaining among you, and make marriages with them, so that you associate with them and they with you, know for certain that the Lord your God will no longer drive out these nations before you, but they shall be a snare and trap for you, a whip on your side and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good ground that the Lord your God has given you. And now I am about to go the way of all the earth. And you know in your hearts and inside all of you that not one word has failed all the good things that the Lord your God promised concerning you. All have come to pass for you, not one of them has failed. But just as all the good things that the Lord your God promised concerning you have been fulfilled for you, so the Lord will bring upon you all the evil things, until he has destroyed you from off this good land that the Lord your God has given you. If you transgress the covenant of the Lord your God, which he commanded you, and go and serve other gods and bow down to them, then the anger of the Lord will be kindled against you, and you shall perish quickly from off the good land that he has given to you. Proverbs 7. My son, keep my words and treasure all my commandments with you. Keep my commandments and live. Keep my teachings at the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers, write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my assistant. Call insight your intimate friend, to keep you from the forbidden woman, from the adulterers with the smooth words. For at the window of my house I looked out through my lattice, and I have seen among the simple, I have perceived among the youth, a young man lacking sense, passing along the street near her corner, taking the road to her house, in the twilight, in the evening, at the time of night and darkness. And behold, a woman meets him, dressed as a prostitute, willy of heart. She is loud and wayward, her feet do not stay at home, now in the street, now in the market, and at every corner she lies in wait. She seizes him and kisses him, and with bold face she says to him, I had to offer sacrifices, and today I have paid my vows. So now I have come out to meet you, to seek you eagerly, and I have found you. I spread my couch with coverings, colored linens from Egyptian linen. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love till morning. Let us delight ourselves with love. For my husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He took a bag of money with him. At full moon he will come home. With much seductive speech she persuades him. With a smooth talk she compels him. All at once he follows her, as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as a stag is caught fast until an arrow pierces his liver, as a bird rushes into a snare. He does not know that it will cost him his life. And now, sons, listen to me, and be attentive to the words of my mouth. Let not your heart turn aside to her ways, and do not stray into her paths. For many a victim has she laid low, and all her slain are a mighty throng. Her house is the way way to Sheol, going down to the chambers of death. Psalm 105. Give thanks to the Lord, call upon his name, and make known the deeds among the peoples. Sing to him, sing praises to him, and tell of all his wondrous works, glory in his holy name. Let the hearts of those who seek the Lord rejoice. Seek the Lord in his strength, seek his presence continually. Remember the wondrous works that he has done, his miracles, and the judgments he uttered. The offspring of Abraham, his servant, children of Jacob, his chosen ones. He is the Lord our God, his judgments are in all the earth. He remembers his covenant forever, the word that he commanded for 1,000 generations. The covenant that he made with Abraham, his sworn promise to Isaac, which he confirmed to Jacob as his statute, to Israel as an everlasting covenant, saying, to you I'll give the land of Canaan as your portion for an inheritance. When they were few in number, of little account, and sojourners in it, wandering from nation to nation, from one kingdom to another people, he allowed no one to oppress them. He rebuked kings on their account, saying, touch not my anointed ones, do my prophets no harm. Then he summoned a famine on the land, and broke all supply of bread. He had sent a man ahead of them, Joseph, who was sold as a slave. His feet were hurt with fetters, his neck was put in the collar of iron, until what he had said came to pass. The word of the Lord tested him. The king sent and released him. The ruler of the people set him free. He made him ruler of his house, and ruler of all his possessions, to bind his princes at his pleasure, and to teach his elders wisdom. And Israel came to Egypt. Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham, and the Lord made his people very fruitful. They made them stronger than their foes. He turned their hearts to hate his people, and to deal craftily with his servants. And he sent Moses his servant, and Aaron, whom he had chosen. They performed his signs among them, and miracles in the land of Ham. He sent darkness, and made the land dark. They did not rebel against his words. They turned their waters into blood, and to cause their fish to die. The land swarmed with frogs, even in the chambers of their kings. He spoke, and there came swarms of flies, and gnats throughout the country. He gave them hail for rain, and fiery lightning was through their land. And he struck down their vines of fig trees, and shattered the trees of their country. He spoke, and the locusts came, young locusts without number, which devoured all the vegetation in their land, and ate up the fruit of their ground. He struck down all the firstborn in their land, the firstfruits of all their strength. Then he brought out Israel with silver and gold, and there was none among his tribes who stumbled. Egypt was glad when they departed, for dread of them had fallen upon it. He spread a cloud for a covering, and fire to give light by night. They asked, and he brought quail. He gave them bread from heaven in abundance. He opened the rock, and water gushed down. It flowed through the desert like a river, for he remembered his holy promise, and Abraham his servant. So he brought his people out with joy, his chosen ones with singing, and he gave them the lands of the nations. And they took possession of the fruit of the people's toil, that they might keep his statutes and observe his laws. Praise the Lord. Now that's done, I shall now do the Lord's Prayer. Please bow your heads. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we have forgiven our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.